Good afternoon, September the 4th, 2015, and almost the start of the Labor Day weekend. When we left this contract a couple hours ago, said that we ought to get stops beneath this low, but I didn't think the Fed would let the market break going into a 3-day holiday. So you can see right in here that the 50-lot traders started to buy, and they've taken some profits. So it looks like we're going to close in this, and we still may get a spike into the close. This contract is notorious for it, but right now it looks like maybe a close in the 1915 area, 1917. We put the overlay of the spread on this morning. We had news when we said be careful for a news whip. We did get the news whipsaw. This was the easiest and best trade setup that we had for the day, and it produced a nice winner. Retest failure gave us a plus. Another buy right here gave us a plus. No trade really off that high, other than the fact that it was 1930 around number of V top. We like V tops, a plus. A blue on blue trade right here, V bottom. Eventually goes up the top, a retest failure, S, and then just like terminal chop in there right into the lunch hour. Then a gradual, ever so slow drift lower. But the neat thing about the spread is that from this point on, not perfectly so, but it really held you on the short side of the market really very well. There are rallies in here, but we have this indicator that we've developed is based on the spread. It is not a true spread. It's a synthetic spread. You can create spreads on anything, but I think as a directional indicator it's going to be pretty good for us over time. So it was a newsday trade. Guess the news. Be careful about a whipsaw because of the unemployment news, and you can see right here this mode mean and that first bar, how well that holds. And this profile information that you have in each bar does come back in play. Value area low, blue on blue trade. Value area high, red on red trade, and so on and so forth. So I'm really excited about the potential for this particular investment indicator. Sounded like a broker there. I'm really excited about the potential for this investment, right? Let's get after it. Okay, lower high, lower low. Come Tuesday, we're looking for a place to sell it. Off the F1 screen. On our F2 screen, will that be confirmed? TPO wise, it's a D. We've got volume above time, so it's volume is moving lower in the profile, and volume is beneath those two levels. So it looks like my guess is we're going to get a retest of this area before it's over. Last rotate up was 19. So if the market would have closed right here, we're trying to sell 19s to 24s. Got to give it some room, and 29s to 34s. I think the 1900, 1904 is the buy area, buy one, and then buy two will be 90 to 95. Just got to give it some room. This market can really take off and run. The news on Tuesday is limited. 3-year auctions, probably the biggest piece of news. NFIB, small business optimism indicator. Gallup, consumer spending something. Labor market conditions index. So there's not much news to work with come Monday. Excuse me, come Tuesday. Again, the big buyers out there, central banks. Nobody else would be buying this stuff. Everybody else would be hitting really hard, given the opportunity. But the like Jeff said this morning, no more October 1987s. Okay, we have a auction week next week, 310 and 30-year. We've got a seller above 128 right now, and we've got a buyer below 127.04 in this little distribution. So pretty stout resistance once we get above 128, 128.04, 128.08. 3-year auction has been pretty good, but this last 2-year auction was terrible. So you don't know going into it, but we know that during an auction week the bottom's not going to fall out of treasuries unless there's a big piece of news. So I would look for the 3-year to get support this time, especially if the E-mini is weak. Kind of a strange looking profile. If we take Z period out and do an A split, have ourselves a P, but volume's very, very low in the distribution. So right now we got a seller above 28. So selling failure to take out 28 to the buck. Makes sense. Then 3 to 7 for sell 2. No news to speak of. On the buy side, last rotate down was 18.5, so 21 to 17 on the idea we're going to have a good 3-year auction. Might be a little aggressive, but then 9 to 13 for buy 2. Be interesting to see how the Europeans react to the pictures that'll be coming out of what they're doing to all these Syrian and Libyan and all other refugees that are trying to get into Europe and get away from the death and destruction in their homelands. And boy, you take the leadership vacuum, the arming of ISIS, all this other stuff, the United States hands are deep inside of this, as deep as you can be. And I mean, it's a tragedy. It's just no way to describe it other than that. And it didn't have to be. Just think if we left Gaddafi alone, who had turned over his nukes to us and was helping us work against these other people and was supposed to take him down. Think if we left Egypt alone. You know, they were dictators, but they were our dictators, so to speak. Okay, 55.21 to 17 by 1. On the 30-year, we're going to sell failure to take out basically 156.04. And then buy 2. 1 to 5 will open up. Could be, we'll make it 5 to 9. Buy 2. Because of the 3-year auction, I think we got to pay up early to get in and get off the long. All these grandiose ideas that come out of universities and think tanks, and then you get some politician that can actually put them into effect out there, and they're not touched for the most part. And think about the harm that has come from that. Yuck. Okay, gold. Gold's pointed lower. It is being sold. Not by the retail account. So we got pretty good support here in this 15 to 17 area. If that holds, this market can come back. The F1 screen says find a place to sell it. And again, we have one of these really, really strange looking profiles. That's a tail that was set by news. So we're going to buy 9s to 11s and 15s to 17s. And on the sell side, 24 to 26, basically going to lean against 25. And then 29 to 31, which was a pretty clean break. You can just see it before the market spilled below 1130. But what was support, it now could be resistance. Don't you hate that word could? God, Charlie, don't do that to me. What do you mean could? How about will? And looking at crude, crude's headed lower for the right reasons. More supply than demand. Saudi Arabia's in the United States for a 3-day weekend. They bought out the Four Seasons. Did you see that entourage of cars and taking out a whole, that's a pretty fancy hotel to take down for a couple of days and refurnish in gold and red. We're the visiting royalty from Saudi Arabia. Living large. Okay, pretty round distribution. That's probably about as close to normal distribution as you can get. We got volume high, so if they don't take out that low on a one-day basis, this market can snap back to the 4650 area pretty quickly. So 4650, 75, sell 1. 47, 47 and a quarter, sell 2. On the buy side, 45.50, 75, buy 1. That's where support is. And then 45 even plus or minus buy 2. 45 is a round number. And last but not least, the euro. Like the sell side of the euro, but we had some strength in the market today. Don't know what China's going to do over the weekend. Probably pump up their stock market and currency. Play with the currencies again. I'm going to be here on Tuesday, Chuck, so I'll give you keys to the room. You can run it to your pleasure, to your wherewithal, okay? They're working on it. It hasn't been deployed yet, Jeff, but everybody's got missiles capable of destroying carriers these days. They don't have to be Mach whatever to do it. It's probably a relic of the 20th century. Okay, I'm going to fold this in and I'm going to do an H split like that. So the euro is pointed lower. We got a low volume number basically at 10. We're at 1150, so I think we're at least going to go get stops below 110. I think that's where we're headed. So maybe an inside day, maybe just a little lower. And put it all together. We may have had a new distribution start up at 11 and a quarter, don't know, but right now it looks like we got a seller in the 75 area. So sell 1 is going to be 75. Sell 2 is going to be the buck. On the buy side, 11 and a quarter. And then 111 for buy 2. And that's it for September the 4th, 2015. You all have a great weekend. Chuck's going to be here and see you on Monday. I'm going to be back and see you on Tuesday. And I'm out of here. Went to very, very hot. Going to be pushing 100 over the weekend. So definitely still summer on the southern central plains. I'm out of here.